Now, I know you really love to talk about local politics. What do you think about this coming election?
Well, most of the races, like Supreme Court, I think there's no opponents. A colleague of mine was telling me that, both Supreme Court candidates have been cross-endorsed. Not too thrilled about the mayor's race. I'm not thrilled about any of the local races because Buffalo's even, it's hard to believe we're the second largest city. We're really just a oversized town, and there really are, maybe in some of the towns and villages, but in the city and such, everything's preordained. So it looks like Sean Ryan's going to walk in. I remember Sean from his days at Sam Hoyt's office or working with Sam. I think he was also at the county legislature at one time as one of the staffers. I forget if he was the parliamentarian or what. But I don't get too excited. For years, I was unaffiliated. And then when I got involved in some of this Democratic stuff, I became a Dem. But in July of this year, I went back to becoming a blank. I'm so disgusted with the parties. And then thanks to, Michael Corleone, i.e. Andrew Cuomo, you don't have any, or it's virtually impossible for someone to set up a third party, really. And during the COVID scam, they changed the law. So,
How's he doing
yep.
in New York City with his
You
campaign? I
know
think
what?
he's complaining about the laws, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, what I love, I no matter what you think of the front runner, we should all thank him for taking out Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo is a despicable human being. I dealt with him when he was HUD secretary. We were working with a group called National People's Action out of Chicago. We went to his home in Virginia. We found him on the front lawn. There were, I don't know, a few hundred activists, and he couldn't come to our conference. And there we found him on his lawn planting rose bushes or something. So we were able to circle him. But he and Bill de Blasio, another scumbag, despicable human beings, what they did with HUD and such, and all the mortgage fraud that went on, FHA mortgage fraud that went on during his reign. I think we owe the front runner, and what is it, ma'am? Man, it shows you how out of touch I am with the Democratic politics. But
Zoran
uh,
Mandani.
yeah, we should thank him for putting a stake through Cuomo's heart. So I love him for that.
He came from the assembly.
Yeah, he's there with Pat Burke and such. He's a very good talker. I think he's somewhat of a scamster. You look at his family home in Uganda. I think he's living the life, and then he's talking about helping the downtrodden. Let's see if that really happens. I hope it does. And then Sweela I met once. I was with and or you remember the Paul Gilman, very active Green Party member. But
Rest
Paul
in
and I
peace. Rest
were
in
in New
power.
York. Yes, indeed. And yeah, Paul and I were. I don't know if we were coming from a protest or what, but we ran into Curtis outside of he was protesting or had a press conference outside the district attorney's office. So he's a character. I don't think he's going anywhere. So we'll see. But yeah, the local politics, it's a sleeper. Couple of
Well,
judicial races at the town and small city level I'm interested in, but beyond that, forget about it.
the Democrats aren't running anyone for sheriff.
Yeah, well, they usually cut deals in those situations behind the scenes.
What do you think about the governor's race for next year?
I don't know. Yeah, I remember Kathy. Well, Bill Hochul was the U.S. attorney. He was somewhat of a reactionary. He prosecuted those poor guys in Lackawanna and the artist out of Allentown, and now they're big libs. She used to what she claimed to be a moderate. She started at Hamburg Town Board. So she was. I haven't seen her in years. You remember she made that mess at the county clerk's office. They weren't was it no was it her not cashing checks, and then there was the jam ups where they made the clerk scan all the real estate documents at the window, which caused horrendous delays. So I'm not too thrilled about her. And then this Stefanik, I don't know. She seems like a trip. So yeah, no, we're in a heap of trouble, man. You big trouble.
Well, there will be a primary, and it looks like Delgado has thrown his head in the ring too. So,
Yeah, I think she'll have a difficult time winning a primary, but it's my understanding she's already told people she's not moving back to Western New York. She's gotten used to living in the city. So even if she loses, she'll be back here. I mean, back or stay in Manhattan, I should say.
well, I mean, that is sad because I mean, Western New York is really beautiful actually, and I mean, it'll be interesting to see how the governor's race turns out because I think people don't always understand that when legislation is being considered, it tends to be the three people in the room with the leader of the Senate and the Assembly and the governor.
Yeah, that's yeah. There was a book I forget who wrote it. I think it was a former state senator talked about that. Very interesting. But it's yeah, really from what I hear that the New York City contingent has it set up where they don't even have to travel to Albany to cast votes. I know it's holdover from the COVID scam.
It's pretty sad. What do you think about ranked choice voting?
I don't know. It seems to me I know they have it what in Alaska and that it seems like a horrible mess.
New
And
York
it,
City?
and even this early voting and that I tend to agree. Like there were enough shenanigans under the old machines. You were really at the mercy at the integrity of the workers opening up the back of the machines. But now with these new scan sheets, it's wild. Like you're supposed to darken the circle. Now, uh, the machines, if you put a check mark or an X, it won't read the X or the check mark. But yet, if you vote absentee and you put a check instead of darkening the circle, or if you put an X, that vote will count. But if you're at the polling place and you put it through the machine, it doesn't count. And if you're challenging an election and if it's close, they don't let you access the ballots because there's probably a lot of votes that aren't counted because the voter improperly marked the ballot. So that that's another fiasco. You would think with today's technology they could detect someone who checked a circle as opposed to darkening it.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, Michael, I think I've taken up enough of your time and I really
No problem.
appreciate.
Well, thanks for having me. Hopefully, one or two people watch this. And if they want to learn more about burning books, they should just do a Google search, Burning Books Buffalo. It's on 420 Connecticut Street in the city of Buffalo. And then I'm easy to find if you go to my website, michaelkuzma.com. I have some decisions posted and I have a blog. But if you have any FOIA or FOIL questions, feel free to send those to me. And I'm listed in the phone book. Feel free to call people. And if you do call, leave a message. In this day and age, people call, don't leave a message, but they expect you to call back, which is pretty wild to me.
Well,
But I've
thank
grown
you.
accustomed to it.
Well, thank you for all your work throughout the years and
Okay,
solidarity.
same here. Thank you. Take care.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.